Hi, everybody. Man, I gotta say, I'm feeling the love around here from all of you guys. It's collective and it's fine. And once you step up here, you can't see anymore, but I can see the radiance coming off everybody. So, I'm here to tell a story. Well, first of all, a story that starts off, in a way, with Amparo helping me become sort of a realized performer in a way. And I want to sort of thank her for this, and maybe we can all kind of give it to Amparo. Certainly to be in a way to get this to the community and show us purpose in a way to get to do that with our lives. Who knows who George Plimpton is? Do you remember George Plimpton? He was a great writer, and he was a guy that would, in case you don't, he was a guy that would go around, he just like always on to something. I was a kid when he was in his prime, and he decided he'd do crazy things. Like he'd decide, my dad had a book called Paper Lion, remember that? He decided he wanted to be one of the, Detroit Lions. So he went, he somehow got his way onto the summer football camp in Detroit. He became, and he'd go and write about it. He'd just get his ass kicked, and I think he got through one play, and then he'd go write a book about it. It was awesome. And then he became, I think he became a boxer, and I think he trained with like Shecky Green, and did one like set of a stand-up comedy thing. Amazing guy. Well, what was great about it to me, it sort of gave me license as a kid, was the fact that as an incredibly hyperactive kid with a kind of an attention span of a gnat, I could be onto stuff because I'm always interested in something, somewhere, for some reason, and it's always very random. And I kind of gave me permission to do that. And I found out when I was a kid I used to draw a lot. I would sort of draw to realize sort of my imagination. And if I could draw it, it became way more real. So I find later that drawing is very much like writing a song. And making neon for me in the fire of the 1,000-degree, fire and twisting glass and then welding it together is very much like making music. So, and I'm finding that things are very similar. Like no matter what you do, it's like there's a certain place that you operate from. And so, I think it was 2008. I had a neon shop that was on West 5th Street. I don't know if any of you remember. It had kind of a landmark neon mural on the front. Yeah, thank you. And so, wow, the exploding bomb, exactly. And so, a guy bought that building, and I had, after 22 years in that landmark, it was time to move out. But meanwhile, I had just gotten back with my wife from Southeast Asia and touring around. And I fell in love with this idea of the Southeast Asian supernaturalism. They have this tradition of the way that they run this. They honor ancestors and they honor nature with these shrines. You can read my blog, the book that never happened about it. But part of the story is about the book that never happened. So I get home. I've been on the road studying all about Samprapong in Thailand and the gnats in Burma and Samtropi and Laos, and I'm studying all this stuff, and I'm meeting all these people for weeks and weeks, and I get home and I have to immediately move out of my shop. It's like, fuck, this is hard. My clutch isn't that good. So here I am, I'm out of my shop, I'm back from Asia, and I'm just really disconnected. I'm not grounded at all, and I'm thinking, oh man, I gotta do something. You know how that feeling when you're just sort of you're just in between something, maybe broken up from a relationship, and you just feel like, oh, the wire's been pulled out of the wall. By the way, I didn't plan any of this story. The story that I was planning to write is fucking out the window. Sorry. Amparo said I'd do it. I didn't think I would. But I'm going to honor her wishes, what Mark Twain said. If I had more time, I'd write you a shorter letter. So I'm at the East Side tour. I get myself involved with this, doing a neon demo for all these kids of all ages. And I notice I've been out of my shop for a while. And I notice in the back, there's a crowd half the size of this. And we're twisting glass and aspiring. Kids are doing it, burning themselves. We're all having a great time. And I notice in the back, there's a couple, and they're kind of talking. And I keep glimpsing back and seeing what they're... And then it was kind of a break, and this woman cuts through the crowd and comes up and just throws her arms around, and she goes, I told you, Bill, I told you he wasn't dead. Just because your shop's closed doesn't mean he's dead. Jesus Christ, man, I gotta get out more. So I'm that I've been studying, it's a study of energy work, and it's called Qigong, and I've been doing this for like 10 years, and I've been really heavy in meditation, which is pretty hard to imagine with somebody as hyper as me. But I really had, and I was very, believe it or not, as I was ungrounded, I was quite grounded. And so I thought, I've been doing this so long, I can meditate when I'm dead. You know what? I'm going to get out in the street, I'm going to get road rage, I'm going to start having fun. So I go around, and the next thing I know, I'm at Steve Wertheimer's at the Continental Club. I had done the sign for him back in 1989 at the Continental Club. And so I said, Steve, and we had talked about maybe me doing a neon show up there, because I really needed to get myself out. I didn't have a presence anymore in this town. And so I said, Steve, we're talking about me doing this show, and if I put neon up in the gallery, which had been condemned upstairs, the gallery at the Continental Club? It's an awesome space. You can see it all the way, you can see this light all the way down Congress to the north. So I'm thinking, and I'm like, he's going, yeah, we could do that, we could put all your work in here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking in my mind, well, first of all, I had been walking past this manuscript that I had been working on in Asia. And I don't know, but if anybody in this audience has ever actually started and completed a book, that is the hardest dang thing in the world, especially if you have no attention span. So every morning, I'd walk with this incredible guilt, and I actually would walk like this, past the manuscript, so I wouldn't have to, and I'd make my coffee, and then as a diversion, I'd see my guitar in the corner, and I'd go and I'd pick this up, and I'd just plink around, and I'd maybe find some little melody, and I hear this, work on this little melody, and in my head I start seeing little kind of scenarios of something, a landscape, and I start thinking about, I've kept journals forever, and I start thinking about conversations, and things just pop into my head. It's kind of like you scratch the surface of your subconscious, and things bubble up, and you just kind of stand back and take notes. It's a great thing to behold. Everyone can do this. And so suddenly a song just happens. Well, shit, that's a lot more fun than sitting around toiling over this tone, right? So another day goes on to deal with it. So lo and behold, after time, I've accumulated maybe 10, 11 songs. So I'm in the Continental Club, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm in the Continental Club. And I love this George Plimpton thing. And, hey, I've written some songs. Hey, Steve, what do you think during my opening? What do you think I like? I met Bob Livingston from the Lost Gonzo Band in Bangkok, and we had a great time palling around. And what if I called him and asked him to teach me how to put a band together? And I'll write a story about it like George Plimpton, and I'll entitle it, How I Finagled My Way into South by Southwest. And arguably the coolest venue in town in the greatest music festival on earth. Well, hey. And he just laughs. He goes, you what? I said, yeah, I can do this. I think I can. I call in every favor. And he said, it's your opening, man. You do whatever you want. So I'm just you do that thing where you go, yeah. Fuck the air. I always wondered, what is that? So I go home and I'm like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? My grandmother was a very frustrated actress. She died a frustrated actress because she was a child prodigy actress in San Antonio when she was a child. And when she ran away from home at 16 and my dentist great-grandfather went and picked her up in New York City as she was starting to get auditions, he brought her ass back because that's just not real cool, and he put her in UT, and she never got to live or realize her ambition. So I'm thinking, like she used to say, who needs dignity when you can have show business? So I'm thinking, the music in this town, I'm in a terrible audience. I got to tell you, it's like if I'm not up here, I'm not real good on the other side. So I'm thinking, music and all, it's kind of boring, right? I used to love the Uranium Savages. They got it. They got with it, right? They had something to do. And I remember they all dressed up like tampons and played some crazy dance. It was great. I love that, and it's the theater in my blood. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna really pull out all the stops. So I start writing down all these things I want to do, and I call Bob Livingston. He's like, you what? You want to do what? And I go, yeah. And he goes, okay. So he and other musicians come over, really good musicians. And we start like working on these songs. And it's really terrible, and they're just so sweet. So I'm thinking, while this is going on, you know what? I want to really pull it. I want to really do this. So what did I do? I understand that on the day of the South by Southwest Saturday, a big Saturday, Mojo Nixon has this like line around the block thing. It's a pancake breakfast, and he's just like crazy, and it's very popular. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rent a limousine, and we're going to like pull past that front door where all those people are. I'm going to do this like major publicity stunt, and we're going to pull past that door to the gallery door on the corner, and all the people in the line for that place are going to think, what was that? Is that like Eric Clapton? Who's in that car? And then the doorman, the driver's going to come out, he's going to go around, he's going to open the door, and what comes out of the car? 2 zebras. So these 2 zebras come out, and I've hired a bunch of shills that act like paparazzi, and I give them they all have cameras and fake cameras and pieces of wood, and they're just going ape shit over these 2 zebras that are getting ready to go upstairs, and the doorman opens the door to the zebras, and the paparazzi's going crazy. And these people in the line are just like, we thought Mojo Nixon was out of his mind. This is what, wow. So upstairs they go. Well, while this is going on upstairs, there is Michael Christian, who used to play with Balcones Fault. And Michael's playing this like drum solo, and the band's there. And I have gone to Lady Bird Lake and done a video of Michael Christian with his full drum set on Bill Oliver's 12 by 12 foot raft as it comes all the way across the lake doing a drum solo towards the camera. It's like, this is so much fun. That's on YouTube, by the way. It's amazing. And so there's this big rear screen projection on a frame, and it's snapped on. And so this is playing on there while Michael's behind it replicating this drum beat, right? And he said, this is how we're going to introduce the band. And so this screen is snapped on, and these 2 really gorgeous women are dressed up like, they're dressed up like bumblebees, right? And they're going to tear the screen off. Well, meanwhile, these zebras come up the stairs, and they like rip these outfits off, and what are they? They're burlesque dancers, and it's really hot. And they start like dancing this whole vamp thing. It's really fun. Well, okay. Didn't all work out. I couldn't afford the limousine. The burlesque chicks, they were kind of pussies. They like wouldn't put on the outfit, so I fired them. But the bumblebees happened, the screen happened, the movie happened, the band was awesome. And when it was standing room only. It was really incredible. I mean, it was like, so it was my time to come up to the stage, and Bob Livingston says, introducing blah, 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 his debut to the stage. And I walk up to the stage, and it was just like this, and I see these lights, and I'm just like, kind of shaky, and I'm kind of like, and I smile at the audience, and I'm just like, oh my God, and I'm like Catherine Hepburn. And I look down at my hand, and it's like curling into the form of the correct chord for the first song that I have been rehearsing my ass off for. And I look back at Bill Browder, guitar slinger, like my big brother. He goes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and the music starts, and boom! I just evaporated. I was not there anymore. I don't know where I went. I don't know what happened. I just evaporated into some kind of vacuum. And at that moment, I was just kind of floating around. Like, I haven't felt this since, like, I was doing mushrooms when I was 19. Like, I'm looking down, I swear to God, I'm looking down, and, like, there's me and this band. I'm like, we're just, like, it's, like, nailing it. This, like, amazing performance. And I have no recollection. If any of you have ever performed, maybe this has happened. I don't know. But I start thinking, maybe my grandmother, Mima, has like filled my body like with her ghost, like my blood, like every fiber of every cell is like she's at the helm and she's doing this thing. Like Joan Crawford, you know, like when she did her daughter's soap opera. And so, 11 songs later or whatever, I just suddenly am back. And I want to tell you, to this day, I have never felt oxygen like I have found when I stand up to this microphone. And that moment has been the turning point for me. And I feel like my grandmother, who I never knew in this capacity, is quite a mentor to me. So, with no further ado, I'd like to play you a song about my first mentor. Is that okay? Okay. How'd I do on time?
You did good.
I did? I'm here. I want me some immediate gratification. If I don't get me some soon, I'm gonna take myself another long vacation. It's been day in, day out, as I gaze in and I daze out, yeah. She was a searching vine. She was married to the king. I once saw her reach for heaven through the ways that she looks at things. How about that tuna fish can? Yeah, I bet you can see about 100 miles across that dried up Coletta Creek bed that's cracked into a billion times. She got me to look. She got me to look a little. She got me to look a little bit deeper. Wouldn't chase that monkey off of my back. I'm still looking to turn a cheap trick. Yeah, I'm still hoping to get rich quick. But she got me to look. She got me to look a little. She got me to look a little bit deeper. Prairie grass still does that hula dance in the South Texas breeze so fine. I'm here to tell you all that Madeline O'Connor, she was a friend of mine. She got me to look. She got me to look a little. She got me to look a little bit deeper. So glad I had a chance to write Madeline a letter before she died. Patty and I were down in Oaxaca City, Mexico. Zapotec Market. Business as usual, just like it's been for hundreds and hundreds of years. We were sitting under this shade tree and I was looking around. I looked up and saw the only beam of golden sunlight making its way down through the trees and the leaves and the branches and landing on this market table, smack down in front of us. That light totally engulfed a black Oaxacan clay rose right there. Now, if you know Madeline's artwork, you know exactly why she came to my mind. If you know me, you know, I'm a big old moth to fire, so I had to get up and take a little closer look. And on further examination, I noticed a radiant explosion, rainbow color dancing all around those leaves. There was red, green, blue, and aqua, gold, and magenta, and orange, and pink, and this amazing iridescent emerald color. It was backed up against this exquisite indigo purple color. So I want you all to know that every time I think I'm going to sing this song, I go in my closet and I take this pretty green shirt and this old purple vest that I bought with my friends at Catman and Doolin Hall, and I put them on together because they remind me of that special place and time, that moment that Madeline got me to look a little. She got me to look a little.